Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 4. So obviously we're in the mid-season break at the moment, with the mid-season premiere coming up in about, like 3.5, 4 weeks, something along those lines. But in the mid-season finale, that being episode 9, we ended with, might I say, quite the cliffhanger where Barry goes home, gets a call from me on his mobile phone or cell phone, wherever you're from, and it's from our new friend Dominic. And we're like, okay, why is Dominic ringing him? And we find out that Dominic is actually the new, I guess you could say, body for Clifford DeVoe. He's put his consciousness and his thoughts inside of Dominic's body because Dominic's power set allows him to do that. But because DeVoe is in this new body, what's going to happen with his old one? Well, he's actually going to use it to frame Barry for his murder. So we walk in with Barry into his apartment and we see Clifford DeVoe's body there with a stab wound. And we're like, oh, okay, well, this is not good. And that's when Captain Singh and some other members of the CCPD actually break into Barry's apartment and find Barry along with the body. And, well, Barry's arrested. Now, after this episode aired, I did see a lot of people wondering, why didn't Barry run? Which is a common question from a lot of fans. Why didn't Barry run? Why did he just stay there and allow himself to get arrested? Now, this will be probably delved into further when we return in the mid-season premiere, because obviously that's the last thing that happens, Barry getting arrested. We didn't see the reactions to this news from the other members of Team Flash. So we'll find out their reactions and see their reactions in the mid-season premiere. But I think the biggest thing to take from it is that Barry didn't want to run from his problems. He was going to face them head on, and this was a problem that he had to face head on. If he ran away, the body would have still been found in his apartment, and then maybe other people might have been brought into it. That's my understanding of it, at least. If you have any other different understanding of it, please leave them in the comment section down below. But this whole thing begins basically the trial of the Flash storyline from the comics. Obviously, there's no reverse Flash, because in the comics, the whole thing is that Barry, or the Flash, might I say, murdered reverse Flash, and he's put on trial for that. But in this case, on the TV show, it's Barry, not the Flash, but Barry Allen, who is the Flash, on trial for killing another villain to us, but not necessarily a villain to the rest of the public, because Clifford DeVoe is just seen as this professor from Central City University. Now, obviously, they're not taking the most, or doing the most authentic take on the storyline from the comics in regards to the trial of the Flash. As I said before, it was Reverse Flash in the comics, and it's the Thinker in the show. And obviously, in the case of the comics, it was the Flash. He was the one on trial. But in this case, it's actually Barry Allen for murdering Clifford DeVoe. So it's a bit different, but they're going to take elements of the trial of the Flash storyline, certain nods and stuff, and implement them into this mid-season premiere and maybe the episode to follow. I'm not expecting this storyline to go on for too many episodes, because they'll need to do some stuff later on, just a couple of episodes later, that we're used to, so they'd sort of have to wrap this up in 2 to 3 episodes at the most. Now, some people were pointing out that there is some evidence actually going against DeVoe's plan here in regards to getting Barry arrested. One was that there is actually no wheelchair when DeVoe was found. Why is he on the floor? Why isn't he stabbed in his wheelchair? Why isn't the wheelchair right next to him? Well, you actually can see the wheel of the wheelchair when he's there. It's just above. It's in the dark. It's not really well lit, but you can see it. So I think when we come back in the mid-season premiere, when they're doing the whole crime scene thing, you'll be able to clearly see the wheelchair. And it won't be some sort of fix-up that they forgot to put in the mid-season finale. It was in the mid-season finale, just right at the top, and you can just see the wheel of the wheelchair. So it's there, and you can't really use that as evidence or the non-evidence against Clifford DeVoe. So how will Barry actually get out of going to prison, or at least avoid the charge of DeVoe's murder? So not necessarily getting out of prison, because he might not actually go to prison, we don't know. He might not go to Iron Heights. But how will he get out of going to Iron Heights and avoid the charge of Clifford DeVoe's murder? Well, I have a feeling, this is just one theory. I'm only going to go over one theory in this video, because we don't want to go on for 20 minutes. But I think he will admit he is the Flash. Now, we have got hints of this in the actual trailer for the mid-season premiere. But I guess the big question is, who does he admit to that he is the Flash? Is it to just the people the judge, the jury, and everyone in that courtroom? Or is it to everyone and it's put on national TV? Now, this could be done on his own accord. He'll be okay, this is my decision. I'm going to tell everyone I'm the Flash. I think it's the right way to go. Or is it under the advice of others, from Team Flash, maybe Iris West, Joe, everything like that? Is it under the advice from them that, maybe you should reveal that you are the Flash if it's going to get you out of this situation? But as soon as he does that, he does put people that he cares about in danger. So if Barry does reveal to everyone that he is the Flash, then it would become a whole question of would the Flash really kill this dude? Like we've never seen the Flash kill before. He didn't kill Zoom, and other people like that. So would he actually start killing Clifford DeVoe in a pretty simple way with like a knife in the chest? Because really, Barry could kill someone in many other ways that wouldn't really lead to suspicions of him doing it. Like he could, face to the heart and crush their heart and stuff like that without leaving any blood and stuff like that, or even snap their neck without any like handprints or like pressure marks, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of things Barry could do to kill someone that wouldn't leave any evidence that points back to him. So why would he do it in such a clear way, like a stab wound? It makes no sense. Obviously, that's in the case if he revealed to everyone that he is the Flash. But in the case, if he does reveal to everyone that he is the Flash to get out of it, I think the Thinker and his wife, so the mechanic, will need everyone to now not know this information. So to let Barry be the Flash without everyone knowing. And this is just so the Thinker's plan can actually play out, because I think Barry's still going to have to play a pretty big role, or at least a role in what the Thinker is trying to do, and he can't really do it if everyone knows that Barry's the Flash, and also if maybe Barry's locked up in jail or something along those lines. So I think to fix this, there might be like a city-wide or at least a mass-wide memory tampering with just the knowledge of the Flash's identity. We know the Thinker can do a lot of things, invent a lot of things with the help of the mechanic. So it doesn't seem like too much of a stretch to think that they might do something where there is some memory tampering with the people that know Barry's the Flash, which makes me think they might not make it public knowledge, like everyone in Central City knows that Barry's the Flash. They might just make it that the people in that courtroom and maybe some journalists and media people know that Barry Allen is the Flash, and that is who the Thinker and the mechanic have to target to, memory tamper or tamper with their memories in order to get that information that Barry is the Flash out of their brains. Now, as I sort of hinted before, I'm pretty sure Barry won't be under trial for too long, like 3 episodes at the max, and that's the storyline of this whole thing, like 3 episodes at max before you move on with the rest of the season. Like, it might just be 1 episode with the court case, wouldn't surprise me if that's the case at all. So it will be a big, like, bomb drop if he does reveal he is the Flash in this episode. But it won't be, like, a long event after this, following this whole thing of Barry revealing the Flash, like a long 3-4 rest of the season arc where Barry's, everyone knows he's the Flash and stuff like that. I think, like, the whole memory tampering thing might come, like, sooner rather than later after this, like, as soon as possible. Or maybe not as soon as possible, but fairly soon after this, because I think the Thinker and the mechanic will want things to start rolling forward in their plan, and everyone knowing that Barry's the Flash probably isn't a part of that. But this could also be like the Thinker and the mechanic testing out Barry as well, but I can't really dive too much into that because I don't really have too much thoughts about that. It's just like, a pre-thought, if you want to say that. Like, I think the Thinker and the mechanic do want to sort of test Barry and see how he might play into their plans later on, and if that will succeed, if that makes sense. Now, I think this whole event will do a lot in regards to the Thinker and the mechanic's relationship, because I think the Thinker at the end of the season, is going to defeat himself, not just following directly this, but just like a lot of the stuff that's happened this season, but this might be like a big part of that. I just think he's going to end up defeating himself in some shape or form. Like, it could even be his wife, the mechanic, that actually defeats the Thinker, just because we've seen this season that she is, like, loyal to him, like, very, very loyal. But he sometimes doesn't show that, like, gratitude back to her. So if she reaches this tipping point where she realizes what she's been doing is sort of a waste of time and she's been taken advantage of, she might be like, stuff this, I'm going to help take you down, or be the one to take you down. So overconfidence and just almost being like an egomaniac, essentially, could be the real villain, or even the hero here for the Thinker. Like, the hero for us because it's taking down the villain, but for Clifford DeVoe, it's the villain, if that makes sense. But obviously we're going to have to wait and see, because that's not going to happen for like the last episode, most likely. But it wouldn't surprise me if the mechanic has some role in at least helping take down the Thinker, whether she does something that affects him. She might die, like Thinker might kill her, like with a couple of episodes to go, but she will do something that weakens him and, opens him up for the taking for Team Flash. But I think the thing to, like, keep in mind, going forward at least, is that I think the Thinker will somehow just be the one to take himself down. I don't think it's actually going to be a heroic moment for Team Flash. I think it's going to be the Thinker that actually takes himself down. Almost like the Reverse Flash from Season 1, because Barry didn't defeat Reverse Flash. It was really Reverse Flash's overconfidence and ego that led to him, letting Eddie know that he was an ancestor, and almost putting it seated in Eddie's mind that he could be the hero. So it was Reverse Flash being too cocky, being too overconfident, that led to his downfall in season 1, so that could be the same thing that we do see in season 4 with the Thinker. Not the exact same thing, just something pretty similar. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this all? Do you think this is how Barry will get out of going to prison, or do you think he's actually going to go to prison? There's going to be some other storyline to get him out of it. What do you think is going to happen? And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.